everyone, I'm sort of playing catch up, so we're gonna do this as real time as we can. I will edit some things out because I don't want this video to be too long, but this mani is inspired by this beautiful plate that Maniology sent me. Just look at how gorgeous it is. And it kind of reminded me of like that China pattern, and I know I've seen that a lot, so we're gonna use this stamping plate and do some designs on my nails. So it's going to be just a simple dip powder mani. The video is going to be focused on the stamping piece, but I do want to show you a little bit of my dipping because that's mainly what I do on this channel. So the powder I'm going to be using is from Mani Boss. This is Marshmallow Fluff, which is an opaque French white. So that's going to be the base for all my nails. And then of course I'll be using my Mani Boss dip liquids as well. And I should also note, I don't know if you can hear it or not, hopefully not, but my neighbors are getting their house power washed and it's a little loud, so hopefully you can't hear that. But because I'm doing this real time, not voiceover, you may hear it. So if you hear that, please ignore it. All right, let's get straight into dipping. I'm only probably going to show you one layer just because it's repetitive. It's just that white, but I will go over like the normal process of dipping. So we've got our Marshmallow Fluff. Let me get my stir stick. I always like to stir my powders before I use them. My nails might be too long. I've got on medium almond tips. These are from BT Art Box. Hopefully I can dip into the jar. If not, I may have to pour over, but we're going to try to dip and see what we can do. So starting with my dip base coat, I'm going to apply a thin, even layer of dip base to my entire nail. We'll see. I've got on peel base, so it may make my dip base dry a little bit faster, but we'll see. So you'll see I'm not starting at my cuticle area. I'm just brushing down towards my free edge because I don't want to flood my cuticles. And then once I've got that covered, then I will work my way back up towards my cuticle area. So I'm pushing the brush upwards. And that's the easiest way to get close to your cuticle but not touch it. Sometimes I do though, but so that's there. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip into my Marshmallow Fluff and try not to spill it. Ooh, that was a close one. I wanted to do an opaque white, so there we go. Because these are colored tips, they do have that nude color to them. So I couldn't use like a milky white because that would show through. So I'm hoping to cover up that nude color. So there we go. That's one dip of that. And look, that's pretty clean. It's a really easy white to work with. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm not going to worry about dusting off any excess powder until I am done with my first layer because this is going to go on all 5 fingers. So I won't show you all the second dip. I'll just show you the one dip so I can show you what I'm doing. So once again, I'm moving my brush, working it backwards towards my cuticle area, and that'll hopefully prevent any flooding. And then dip into your powder. So it looks like there, let me see, take my cuticle, my precision tool, do a little bit of cleanup, make sure I don't have anything on my skin. And so still a little bit wet. So when you have excess dip base and it's not fully absorbed by powder, it will seem a little wet. So you can just dip right back in, or you could just wait for it to dry, whatever you prefer. And then let me clean up that a little bit. I have a little excess here, so a little too much dip base. So that's what that is. Let's go ahead. And I find I always look out for a good white dip powder because white dip powders can be super tricky because they can look chalky, they can be difficult to work with. I find that Marshmallow Fluff is a really great white to work with. It's super easy. It's not like patchy or chalky. So I like this white. And then I'm hoping with 2 dips, I'll be able to get it opaque enough. If not, I'll probably do, because I don't think I have to worry about it looking patchy if I file and buff on top of it just because it's white. So if I find that I need a 3rd coat, I'll probably do a 3rd coat of Marshmallow Fluff dip of Marshmallow Fluff and not cap and clear. So normally I'll do 2 dips of color, cap and clear, and then so total of 3 dips. But if I find that this isn't opaque enough, I might just do 3 dips of color and then not cap and clear. And then that would definitely give me enough opacity. So I'll let you know what I end up doing. But it's actually, I think, pretty good coverage even just with that 1 dip. So this stamping plate I have been hanging on to. I've had it for maybe a month or so, and I'm really excited to use it. I've had it off to the side knowing I wanted to use it, so I'm really excited to finally use it, just because it kind of gives me that like China pattern type vibe. I don't have the exact blue I want for it that I have like in my head, but I do have a pretty blue that I'll use. We'll see how that turns out. And then I'm debating on if I do like full nails or if I do maybe French tip type design with the stamping. I don't know yet. We're going to play it by ear. Sometimes I will plan everything ahead of time. Sometimes I will just see, like do 1 nail and then see how I feel about that and then decide from there how I want to continue. So we will see what happens. Hopefully stamping is not a hot mess today. It sometimes agrees with me. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it's just a pain. So I find stamping's very hit or miss, and I don't know like what the difference is. So we'll see how it goes today. I think, with stamping, it's easy, but it's not. So you just have to have patience. Okay. So that's 1 dip of Marshmallow Fluff. Let me see, I'm a messy dipper. All right, so I'm gonna do my 2nd dip off camera, maybe a 3rd, maybe I'll cap and clear. We'll see. When I hop back on, I'll tell you what I end up doing. Okay, I ended up doing 3 because I was sloppy and I missed some spots, but I love how opaque this white is. So I did 3 layers. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate. So instead of capping in clear, the 3rd layer is kind of my final layer, because I feel like with this white, I don't have to worry about any patchiness if I file and buff on top of it. And I don't want my nails to be too thick because I am wearing the full coverage tips. So I don't like to go, unless it's like a super thin dip powder, I don't like to go more than 3 layers of dip powder. It just depends. So I'm just going to do this, and I apply a generous amount of activator just to make sure it's penetrating through those 3 layers of dip powder. I'm going to wait a full 2 minutes, and then when it's hardened, then I can go ahead and start filing and buffing, which I will do off camera. I don't know. Do you want to see a filing and buffing video? It's hard for me to stay in frame, though, is the only thing the last time I tried. But let me know if that's something you want to see, and then I can see if I can work on one. Okay. So I'm going to let this harden, file and buff, and then I'll be back. We'll do some stamping. Okay, I went ahead and filed and buffed off camera. So here's how it's looking. Isn't this white just so beautiful? It's just such a nice, clean white color. So now we're going to get into some stamping using this plate. I'm not sure, like I said, what I'm going to do yet. So I'm going to start with my middle finger because I know that definitely wants to be a full design. So I think I'm going to do... Obviously, the dragon isn't going to cover my whole nail, but I think I'm going to at least do like as much as I can of the dragon on my middle finger, and then we'll take it from there. So let me see. I think I'm going to use this. This is kind of like, I call it a Cookie Monster blue. It actually looks darker on camera than it actually is. If you picture Cookie Monster, that's kind of the color. So this is Flotsam. I don't know. B373 is the color. This is from Maniology, which I love their stamping polishes. Shake that up. Let me get everything ready with my scraper card and my stamper. Hopefully this goes well because I'm doing this real time. If not, I may need to edit out some. So that's going to be plenty. Let's go ahead and scrape at a 45-degree angle and then see if we can pick up that image. Yep, so that is a really clean pickup, luckily. So let's see how much we can fit. Ooh, that's gonna look pretty, I think. I think it's a little brighter blue than I had wanted. Like, what it's showing up on camera is a darker, which is what I wanted, but I didn't have that color. But that is cool looking. Look at that dragon. And we'll worry about cleanup afterwards, but I'm really happy with that way that looked. So let me clean off my plate. So I'm going to use my little grabber. I love this thing because I don't have to mess up my nails by touching that acetone. So I've got the acetone. I'm just going to clean up my plate while I decide what I want to pick up next. And I've got polish on my scraper card too, so I want to make sure to clean that up. And then for the excess that's on my stamper, you don't want to use acetone. Let me see. Here it is. So I'm just going to use some Scotch tape and just clean up my stamper that way. Any excess polish that's on there gets picked right up. So it's nice and clean again. And then, yeah, it's just dust on the other side, so I'm not going to worry about that. So let me see. Now that I've got the drag, you know what? I really want this cat though, but the question is, let's do maybe a design at like the tip instead of the whole nail. I like this flower. No, this flower. Let's try this flower. Scrape at a 45-degree angle. I like to roll my stamper onto the design. So you see right there. I'm going to, because I don't want the excess polish, because I'm not going to do my whole nail to transfer onto my nail. So I want to make sure I'm removing that with some tape. And then I'll put that there. So I want to move a little bit quickly. So I'm doing this on my dry dip powder nails. I don't have any sticky base. If the stamping polish were to dry on me, then I would need to add a sticky base coat so something could stick to it, because the polish was still wet because I was stamping pretty quickly. I could adhere it. So if you have problems with it sticking, highly recommend a sticky base coat. I know I've heard the Orly base bonder, I think is what it's called. You know, I have to do the cat. I want to do the cat. So we're going to do this on my ring finger. So I applied my polish. I'm scraping at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm going to roll my stamper. Thank goodness this is working. Once again, remove the excess polish using a piece of tape. And then we will put this at the center, hopefully the center of my nail. And then, I don't know if you can see that little bit of polish is sticking up. So I'm just going to press it down. Look at how cute that is. All right, that's that. Maybe I'll do a little butterfly on my ring finger as well. Get one of those smaller butterflies. So, so I want to remove the bigger butterfly because that's going to be too big for my nail. Let's do the small one. I always mean to save my tape. We'll put her up here. Oh, it didn't transfer. I was too slow. Let me see if I can get it to stick. Nope. All right. See, that's what I'm talking about. I moved too slow, so my polish dried on me. So I've got my sticky base coat. This is from Maniology. And I'm just going to put it at the corner because I don't want to smudge what I already have. And you don't want to do it when it's too wet. You want it to, oops, get tacky. Did I spill? No, I don't think I spilled. So I'm going to give it a minute. I spilled on myself though. Of course. All right. Apparently I'm a hot mess right now. So it's getting a little tacky. So you can see it's dried down a little bit. So now we will go back and stick on that butterfly, and just like that, it's stuck. I think I want to do another one down here, maybe the little bit of bigger one. I'll work a little bit quicker this time, but I need to make sure that I'm cleaning off my stamping plate in between each. Clean off that polish with some acetone. ·45-degree angle. Roll it on. I think that bigger one will actually fit, so I'm going to do the bigger one. So I'm just removing the parts of the image that I don't want. I'm being really careful when I get close to that butterfly because I don't want to accidentally remove parts of it and have to re-stamp. Come on. All right. So there's that. And then we will place that down here. Oh no! Do you see that? Only half of it stuck. That is so strange. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I have got my Maniology cleanup brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of the acetone, and I'm just gonna start over. And hopefully this doesn't stain my white. I'm being really careful because I don't want to mess up my cat. So that's clean. Let's start over. Need to clean my plate. This time I'll use a sticky base coat just to play it safe. Get a new piece of tape. Remove those other butterflies. And I have a little glare from my light, so I want to make sure. Okay, I think I got it all. I like to pick up my image first and then do the sticky base coat, because sometimes if I do my sticky base coat first and then don't pick up the stamp, then it gets too tacky by the time I re-pick up the image. So then I have to apply it again. So I'm just going to apply it to my tip and wait for that to get a little bit tacky. You don't have to wait too long. You just don't want it wet because it's not really going to, it's just going to make a mess. So you kind of watch it and watch it kind of dry down a little bit. So it's starting to get to that tacky point. It's not super wet anymore. Just going to give it another second or so. And then We'll see how, I think I just want my butterfly like that. Oh, you can't see that. It's hard for you and I to both be able to see well. Okay. And there we go. So now we've got our little butterfly.
Invincible.
So can you see the image is kind of sticking up a little bit? So I'm just gonna press it down, but at least it transferred. That was close, so I should have used a sticky base coat. All right, 4 down, 1 to go. Now the thumb is always the most fun for nail art because you have the most nail estate. So I wonder what I want to do. I'm thinking maybe the peacock. Let's pick up the peacock. Oh, the power washers are at it again, so you may be hearing that again. All right, so we have the peacock. Okay, so I'm going to take, uh-oh. I just noticed a little bit of polish. There we go. This time I'm going to use my sticky base coat. Lesson learned. I guess it doesn't really have to be my entire nail because the peacock's just going to go in the middle. So I'm going to let that dry down a little bit. So here's what I picked up. This is the peacock. I don't know how well you could see that. So let's center her. And then press down. And there we go, much better. Just make sure if any polish is sticking up to press that down. I'm going to do my smudge-free top coat. So this is from Maniology as well. Because I'm going to probably do a dip top coat. And if I put activator straight on top of my stamping without protecting it with something, a cap and clear or the smudge-free top coat, okay, my smudge-free top coat is now completely dry. While I was waiting, I got impatient because I don't like just sitting, so I went ahead with that cleanup brush that I showed you earlier. I went ahead and cleaned up my middle finger to get all that excess polish off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with one final layer of activator, and I'm going to kind of float that on top. I don't want to drag the activator because that will that will smudge the no smudge top coat. So you want to be really careful, and you want to just float on your activator. So I just want to make sure I get plenty on my brush to just quickly swipe a final layer on all my nails. And I will just go in with a little bit more if I don't feel like I have my nail covered, just because your top coat does need the activator in order to dry. I'm just being really careful because I don't want to smudge this pretty blue. Okay, so I think I've got all my nails covered. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait 2 full minutes, and then I will go in with my top coat. So let the 2 minutes pass, and then I'll hop back on floor top coat. So now we're going to go in with the dip top coat. First layer, you're going to apply in 2 to 3 really quick swipes on each nail. In between each nail, I want to wipe my brush on a lint-free wipe just in case there's any excess activator. I don't want to harden my brush, contaminate my bottle of top coat. So I'm just going to continue on really quick. Don't worry about covering your entire nail. If you miss a spot, that's okay. We're going to do a second layer. Okay, so I've got all 5 nails, and then you'll see it start looking a little dull and tacky. So now we're going to go in with second layer, and here's where I can focus on making sure I have everything covered. You don't want to take too many strokes, but you can take more. And then I also want to make sure I'm capping my free edge. So I want to make this top coat, it is self-leveling, so it levels nicely, but I want to make sure I have everything covered. And then cap my free edge.
Here we go.
Okay, we're completely dry. Now I need to rehydrate my cuticles as always. So I've got my Scales of Mermaid Cuticle Oil. This is in the set F Off. This is one of her new releases, and I'm still super obsessed with it. So it's got a Satsuma scent, which if you haven't smelled Satsuma, it's one of my favorite scents from the Body Shop. It's a citrusy scent, but it's like orangier than an orange. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a citrusy orange scent, but it's one of those scents that as soon as I smell it, it just makes me salivate instantly because it's such a fresh, beautiful scent. So if you like fruity scents, you definitely should try F Off because it's mainline. So it comes in the cuticle oil, the balms, butter lotion. I'm trying to think of if it comes in anything else. But anyway, I went ahead and bought it in the balms and the butter lotion as well because I need this scent in everything. All right, so here we are. Completely dry, all hydrated. How fun is this? I love the way this turned out. I wish you could see that the blue isn't actually as dark as it's looking on camera. The way it looks on camera is the blue I was looking for. So we'll just pretend that's the way it looks. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.